This lesson is about while loop. A while loop keeps running as long as a condition is true. It's useful when you don't know exactly how many times you need to repeat something. A full loop is better when you know in advance how many times you want to loop. A while loop is better when you want the loop to continue until a condition changes. In this part, we want to get familiar with the basic structure of a while loop. We're going to define a variable called energy, give it an initial value, and write a loop that moves the character inside a black hole, as long as the energy is greater than 0. We put the move and energy decrease inside the loop because we want the message to be printed and the energy to decrease every time the loop runs. The collapse message is outside the loop, since we only want it to run once after the loop finishes to indicate that there is no energy left. In this part, we want to learn how to exit a loop using break. We're going to imagine our character is looking for the exit door. We define an energy variable with an initial value of 5. We write a loop that continues searching as long as we have energy. Inside the loop body, we write print searching energy, because we want this message to print on every iteration. Then we check if energy equals 3, meaning the exit door is found. We display a message using print, and then exit the loop using break. So all of this code goes inside the loop, because it needs to be checked and executed during each iteration. However, the final part that checks if found exit and then says either Shadow Hunter escapes the pit or is still trapped goes outside the loop, because we only want to decide whether the exit was found after the loop ends. In this part, we want to learn about the continue statement. We'll have a list of rooms, some of which are empty. The goal is to skip over empty rooms and move to the next one without printing the exploration message. To do this, we define a list called rooms and use a while loop to go through the list using indexes. Inside the loop, we first look inside the room's list and the current index and save the value into room. Then we increase the index by 1 so we can move to the next room. Both of these steps should be inside the loop because we check a new room in each iteration. Then we add a condition. If the room is empty, we show a message with print empty room, skipping. And use continue to skip the rest of the loop for that room. So continue means skip the rest of this iteration and move on to the next one. The line print Shadowhunter explores a room should only run if the room is not empty. So we place it after the if condition, still inside the loop. In this part, we'll write an infinite loop, where we manually define the exit condition inside the loop. This type of loop is useful when we don't know how many times it will repeat, but we have a specific condition that when met should end the loop. In this stage, we need to watch out for infinite loops. If we don't define a proper exit condition, the loop will run endlessly, and the program might get stuck. That's why we always need a clearly defined exit condition for infinite loops like while true. We start with while true to create the infinite loop. Then we create a variable called steps to count how many steps we take. Inside the loop, we increase steps. Then we show the current step using print. Now if steps reaches 4, that means a secret door opens. We show a message with print a secret door opens, and then use break to exit the loop. All of these lines are inside the loop because they need to be checked and repeated each time. Finally, after the loop ends, we show one last message print Shadowhunter escapes again. This line goes outside the loop because it should only run once after we exit. Whenever you use while true, make sure there is a proper exit condition inside, like a check with break. If not, the loop will never stop and your program may freeze.